Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you out to the Knight Arena here at Southern Virginia University. And we thank you so much for joining us at the Knight Sports Network for tonight's coverage of women's basketball. I'm Chris Fly, along with Dawson Weidrich, here to bring the action for tonight. And Dawson, I got to say, I'm so excited for this game.
Oh, I'm so excited for the season altogether. It's basketball season. The weather's getting colder. We're not excited about that part, but we are excited for basketball action tonight as the Knights have their home opener today. We're just super excited here.
Home opener as the 1-0 Knights take on the unbeaten Lions of Piedmont College. Both teams looking to make an instant impact here in this game. And not only the home opener for this Knights team, but also the first home game for Knights' new coach, Adam Wardenberg.
Yeah, Coach Wardenberg is such a great guy. We got to sit down with him earlier this week. We had interviews. You'll see those interviews at halftime with the players. He's just such a humble guy. He's just very quiet and reserved. He has a lot of Division I experience as far as coaching is concerned. And he's just a very open guy, very trusting of his players. You'll see in the interviews that even their point guard Corey Stott talk about how he just kind of lets them view the flow of the game and how they want to approach it is how he'll let them. And so he's very lenient with his players, but he also has that championship mentality. As you know, we saw all of them saying this team is a championship team. So we're excited to see how that flows with the team this season.
And definitely that's the goal at the end of the season. The Knights team looking to grab a championship out of it. They have the caliber players to do it. Let's see if they can put it together. And as always here at Southern Virginia, the fans, just here at Southern Virginia, some of the best fans in the nation. Truly, the players lovingly refer to the Knight Sports Arena as the barn because the fans get rowdy and the players feed off of that, and it's just a great atmosphere here at Buena Vista, Virginia.
Yeah, it really is, and it's going to be interesting to see how Piedmont College reacts to this home crowd because, again, it's such a condensed space and not very many people can come in and still make a ton of noise. But the thing with Piedmont College I'm anxious to see is how they impressed me because last year they were in the NCAA Division III tournament and they went, I believe it was 23-6 on the year, but they only returned 6 players. Those players are seniors and juniors, and the rest of their roster is freshmen. And so that's one thing that Coach Wardenberg talked to me about before the game was how they're going to approach those freshmen because they don't really know much about them. Everybody else, they have pretty good film on. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to those freshmen and how they pressure them in this game.
Absolutely, and definitely this Knights team coming in with a lot of experience, a lot of returners here for this Knights women's basketball team. And they'll have a challenge up against the Lions of Piedmont College. Like we mentioned earlier, the Lions unbeaten as well as the Knights. Lions 2-0 on the season so far, and the Knights 1-0 with their last win against Salem. So definitely be interesting to see this game here today. A little bit of experience versus a little bit of inexperience. Maybe we'll see some turnovers. Just be interesting to see what happens during this game. Knights definitely looking to come out of this with a win and keep their record untarnished.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll duck out here for just a little bit, and we'll have the opening prayer with us as SVU tradition and the national anthem. And we'll be back shortly.
Attention, please. Welcome to the Knight Sports Arena at Southern Virginia University for today's Women's Basketball Capital Athletic Conference matchup featuring the Lions of Piedmont College and your Southern Virginia University Knights. President Wilcox and the Southern Virginia staff, thank you for your support. The student athletes and coaches participated in today's contest. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, they ask you to respect the following SVU athletic rules. Cheer loudly and proudly for your team, not against the visitors. No profanity, vulgarity, racist, or sexist remarks. No personal remarks toward players, coaches, or officials. Show that you know the game. Stay away from the playing area and team bench areas. Zero tolerance for alcohol and tobacco use at all contests. Thank you for your support. And go Knights! In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we'll begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Zach Danneman.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're very grateful for this day, and we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to watch this athletic event, and we're grateful for the talents and abilities that Thou hast blessed us with. We ask Thee that Thou bless us with safety, that Thou bless the girls with safety and protection, and that they can play their best. We love Thee and say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you will all please rise and face the flag for the playing of our nation's national anthem. And now for your starting lineups.
I'd like to welcome you back here to the Knights Sports Arena as this game is almost underway. The Knights of Southern Virginia University versus the Lions of Piedmont College. Just have the starting lineup here for both teams.
Yeah, the first one was announced as Amari Price. She's a junior from Hiram, Georgia, and she's sitting at 5'5". The next one is number 15, Kelly Ackerman. Again, this is a very much restocked team from the year previous because they have tons of freshmen, 9 freshmen on the roster. The rest are juniors and seniors that were on the NCAA tournament game last year. A couple of players, that was 21, Hope Franklin, number 24, Rachel Ivory, and number 34, Brittany Walker.
Definitely interesting to see if head coach of the Lions, Jamie Purdy, a little bit of trial ahead of him with all these freshmen, but nevertheless, I think he's up for the challenge, and definitely his team is as well.
A freshman from St. George, Utah, number 13,
Dawn Mead is just, we talked to her during the interviews this week. She's very much a shy person, but obviously starting point guard here. She's looking to make a huge impact with this team, again, being from St. George, Utah. And then Amanda Wood, a sophomore, again, a young team. She's from Ashburnham, Massachusetts, and she's actually a transfer from McDaniel College, which is where the men's basketball team just recently played this week. Number 21, Savannah Christensen, is also a sophomore from Lae, Hawaii. And then number 23, Alexis Barnes. She was a high scorer for their team against Salem with 21 points, and she did a phenomenal job. She was shooting lights out. She ended up being 8 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-point, and she's just such a leader for this team, including last year.
Absolutely, and these Knights players, some players to watch as we get just a little bit of a greeting from coach there. Definitely want to wish him luck with this Knights team, this starting 5. Have some newcomers on this starting 5 with the likes of Amanda Wood and Dawn Mead. But nevertheless, just like this Lions team, I think this Knights team is up for the challenge up ahead of them today.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be interesting to see how Corey Stout comes into play here this season because obviously the freshman Dawn Mead getting the start at point guard, whereas Corey Stout took a lot of that load on herself last season and did a very good job. She had games where she was very consistent from the three-point line, and she also had a lot of great passes. I think I'm interested to see how Coach Wardenberg uses them interchangeably throughout the game, and I feel like that'll give first Dawn Mead a lot of experience, and it'll also give Corey Stout to also show that leadership that she is capable of giving being a junior on this team.
Absolutely, so early in the season, want to get your newcomers and your freshmen as much experience as possible because that can pay really big dividends come the end of the season. And got to be a little bit jealous of Coach Wardenberg here. So much talent at his disposal for his first year as Knights women's basketball head coach. See the tip-off now, and possession will start with the Lions of Piedmont College. Instantly trying to make things happen. And the first bucket goes down. That is number 24, Rachel Irby.
That's how you start a game right there. You really got to start out fast and work your offense really quickly as they did. That's, oh man, it's a blocked three-pointer.
Blocked there by the Lions of Piedmont. Number 0, Amari Price drives it in for the Lions, but she is fouled.
And that was number 21, Savannah Christensen, with the blocked three-pointer and the foul there committed. It's obviously showing some frustration after that play. I mean, being a taller girl as she is, she stands at 6 feet tall. She doesn't expect to get blocked very much. And so obviously that must have come as a surprise as the first bucket goes to number 0, Amari Price, from the free throw line.
Caught a little bit off guard there, I think Savannah was. Just taller player, but from the three-point line was able to be blocked. A great two-way play by Amari Price of the Lions as now the Knights bringing the ball up the court for the second time in this game. This is Dawn Mead.
And the Lions having some two girls up, on defense, and they get on the inside. That was a good look from her 40, Katie Garish. She'll take those all day long.
Expect the Knights to be doing that all game. Katie Garish, really one of their key players. They love to give it to her last season. Doing such a great job and looking to build on last season with this season. So expect her to get the ball quite a lot, especially with such an inexperienced point guard in Dawn Mead in the game so far. As you see, yet another turnover for this Knights team.
That was one thing they did a decent job of containing against Salem. They only ended up with 14 total turnovers. I mean, there's still room to clean up there and already starting off a little rusty. And it's one thing that's interesting when I talked to Coach Wardenberg, he said that they really needed to keep the Lions out of the paint. And already you're seeing the impact of how they're able to get in the paint and get those baskets, already being up 6-0.
So far driving it right on here in this Knights team from the same side.
What happened there is she moved her pivot foot while she's pivoting around, so that which drew the traveling call.
Travel call, and appeared to be number 21, Hope Franklin of the Lions. Now Dawn Mead takes the ball up here for the Knights.
They got a 2-woman press. And
Dawn Mead trying to get it in there to the likes of Garish, but stolen by number 15, to Kelly Ackerman of the Lions. And now the Lions with their own attack. And just as we say that, Lions with a turnover, the Knights will take this ball back over.
Tell you what, that's such a relief for the Knights to see that turnover take place for the Lions, because so many things starting off kind of not so right so far for the Knights, and just to see something like that happen for the Lions is nice to see. One thing I'm really liking from the Lions defense right now is how they get their hands up really quickly, like in that pass from Dawn Mead that was deflected. They get their hands up so fast and they're quick with their hands on defense.
Ball to Mead, takes it, makes it. 3 points for the Knights. The Knights' first points on the board here. The Lions looking to make a quick counterattack. Charge call here against the Lions. Beautiful way to draw a foul there. That's Knights number 23. That's Alexis Barnes.
That's one of those fouls that can really turn the table here for the Knights early on, as again they found themselves in a little bit of a hole. Now starting to build their way back up with momentum, and that got Coach Wardenberg excited here on the side.
Absolutely very animated here on the Knights sideline after that charge call. Then the ball goes into Garish. Garish tries to go up, but she is met and fouled within the paint. Looks like Garish will go to the line.
Yeah, that was number 34, Brittany Walker, the 6'3" junior from Savannah, Georgia. She's an intimidating force in the paint, which is why they want to get in the paint as much as possible if you're on the Lions.
Katie Garish herself, a sophomore from Annandale, Virginia. And she makes her first free throw.
That's just one thing that's so overlooked with basketball when you watch it on TV or anywhere else is free throws. Those seems like they should be gimmies, but they're the most important thing that you can get consistently. If you make free throws, odds are you win more games than people who don't.
Such an important thing, but like with anything in sports, nothing is guaranteed. Free throws, you got to practice them. You're not just going to go on a basketball court and make them your first time out. Got to practice, and this Knights team definitely practiced everything. As now we see Alexis Barnes taking the ball into the paint.
That's the first drive we've seen from her today so far. Again, she was a leading scorer against Salem. And you're right about the free throws. That's something you really have to practice. And like when you think of the word practice, you think, oh, I'll just shoot a couple of these warming up for practice. No, that's not it. In order to get good at free throws, you have to shoot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of free throws every single week, at least. Like 50 a day, at least we had in high school when I was playing. Alexis Barnes with the first free throw.
Now Alexis Barnes, a senior from Oceanside, California.
And Abby Craven substituting in, the senior forward. She's from Cleveland, Georgia.
Now we see Barnes attempting her second free throw. To make that one as well. And this will tie the game back up here for the Knights.
Amari Price taking it to the right side.
Taking in the paint. Beautiful defending there by Katie Garish. Rebound falls to Dawn Mead.
A nice move by Dawn Mead. Goodness gracious, she got out of there quick. For as little experience she had, she really knew how to handle that situation.
And that's a charge call against Knights number 20, Amanda Wood. Just saw her extend her elbow just a little bit down there.
Yeah, that'll get called every time if you make that obvious. I mean, you can push off a little bit, like if you're subtle about it, but when you extend your arm like that, that's going to get called every time.
Now we see the Lions at Piedmont College. Drives it in, stripped by Mead, but won back here by the Lions. Ball put up. That's a jump ball between number 23 of the Knights, Alexis Barnes, and number 21, Hope Franklin of the Lions.
Yeah, Hope Franklin really doing a good job getting her hands in there. And unfortunately for the Lions, unfortunately for the Knights, the jump ball goes the Knights' way.
And Dawn Mead passes to Wood. Wood trying to get it back to Mead. This ball is stolen by the Lions.
That pass is just way too low. I mean, way too low into the side. If you're going to turn around and make that quick pass, you've got to be accurate about it.
And now we see referee just taking a stoppage to this game, is telling the shot clock to be changed back to 23 seconds. It was at 25. This will lead to an inbound play by the Lions here. This number 0, Amari Price. Tries to get it in.
Beautifully defended there by number 40, Katie Garish. Got her hand in there, her opposite hand. She wasn't trying to reach through the body. Well done.
Barnes takes a shot, and that's off the back iron. It'll be rebounded to number 24, Rachel Irby of the Lions. Price looking up. Shot taken and made. That is number 1, Jatasia Bailey.
Yeah, you can't leave a shooter open like that on the outside. I mean, if you're someone who's on the outside, you're trusted to make threes. And if you're that wide open, you can pretty much guarantee at this level it's going to go in.
Beautiful pass there by Wood. Barnes takes it, makes it. That's 3 points for the Knights.
Again, Alexis Barnes had 2 of those against Salem. As you see, Corey Stout and Brooke Jorgensen coming in.
Another 3 taken by the Lions and made. A 3-point duel here in this matchup today between the Knights and the Lions. See Meade taking it from the elbow. That's off the back iron. Garrison, they're trying to get it. Won't be able to get it. Be a foul call here against the Knights.
She rushed that shot a little bit. She got in there and saw the gap and really rushed her form, which caused her to overshoot it. But again, a great opportunity there. She sees the opening. A freshman taking chances. That's something you don't really see very often.
See some substitutes coming in here for the Knights. Like you mentioned earlier, Corey Stout making her way into this game, in for Dawn Meade. Also coming into the game, Brooke Jorgensen and Sophie Wright for the Knights.
And how this is becoming like a kind of a 3-point game, Corey Stout adds to that. I mean, her height is kind of a disadvantage when it comes to shooting. Once she gets open, she can really make an impact beyond the arc.
Got a travel call against number 30, Abby Craven of the Lions there. The Knights regain possession as now Stout brings the ball up for the first time in this game.
Just kind of getting a feel of how the Lions are defending here. They still got the 2 people up.
Wood passes it into Jorgensen. A 3-second call here against Knights number 41, Brooke Jorgensen.
It's so easy to get lost in the paint and forget how long you're in there. There's some refs that'll tell you like, oh, you're in the paint a little bit, and they'll kind of warn you, but obviously Jorgensen did not hear that warning.
Timeout taken. Just Dawson, both teams kind of trading off. We saw a lot of threes there in just the short minutes we've played. What do you think at this point can coach tell his girls for this Knights team?
Well, I think the thing we talked about earlier on in the game is how they can't let them get inside the paint. That's where a lot of the earlier points came from when they went up 6-0. And they've done a pretty good job of limiting that. I mean, you saw number 40, Katie Garish, do the defensive back move, reaching her hand over the play and deflecting it out of there. So I think as long as they can keep it out of the paint and limit them to 3-point shots, I feel like the Knights have more of a chance. And I just love how they fought back after being down 6-0, and they're still it's still a 3-point deficit, but they've definitely made it more of the contest than at first it would seem to be.
But even with that, if they keep the Lions out of the paint, we've seen some great shots by the Lions, in particular number 1, Jatasia Bailey. She's wide open. She's got that ball. She's not afraid to pull the trigger, and when she shoots it, most of the time it's going to go in.
And again, it's such a dangerous game letting an open shooter get in a rhythm like that, being that wide open. Because if she gets a wide open shot and makes it, she's going to start making shots with less and less room on her. And that's going to pay big dividends for whoever's shooting hot at that time in the game.
And now we see the Lions of Piedmont College after that timeout break, bringing the ball up now, met by Corey Stout. Drives it in right off the back of the glass. That's number 0, Amari Price. Great drive and great shot there.
She brought that up from her hip. That was almost kind of a circus shot. I'm shocked that went in.
A little bit of confusion on the Knights' end, but one back by Wood now with Wright. Jorgensen goes up, but a travel called here against number 41, Brooke Jorgensen of the Knights.
I think she took a little quick hop when she pump fakes to try to get them to jump up, but the ref obviously seen that there. Good call.
Pass name is no there. The referees say it took a tip off the Knights. This ball remained with the Lions at this point.
And I like putting in Alexis Barnes back in quickly because, again, she's just such a vital part of this team's offense. She's so athletic and helps out defensively.
Wide open off the back of the glass. Over the back call here against number 21, Hope Franklin.
That's so tempting when you're such a tall person and the person in front of you is that much shorter than you to just reach over them. It's fun to do, but again, you just got to really control yourself with that. Obviously, Franklin not able to help herself on that one.
And Hope Franklin standing at 6 foot tall. You see the Knights draining another three. That is Alexis Barnes in the corner.
That makes her 2 for 3 from three-point land.
Immediate drive in by Price. Missed it. Now the Knights. This is Corey Stout. Lays it off for Barnes. Barnes with the drive. And Barnes will be fouled as she goes up. Instead, it's called a charge call here against Barnes.
That's very interesting because it definitely looks like they didn't make the signal for charge right away. They made it just look like it was a shooting foul. And so that's why Coach Warrenberg is upset about that because it looked like, I'm pretty sure it isn't the case. It looked like it might have been just a change of a call. But, I don't know, interesting decision there by the refs.
Interesting nonetheless, but nevertheless, the Lions with possession of the ball.
They brought up Jorgensen for the trap up top.
Looking for the trap on Price. Got it. And this ball will belong to the Knights now.
You see a lot of substitutions put in by Coach Wardenberg. He likes to keep his players fresh. Been doing a pretty good job of that early on in this first quarter.
Now the Knights with the ball now. This is Corey Stout. Looks out for Nicole Muse, one of the substitutes for the Knights there. Knights take a three off the front iron and rebounded by number 1, Jatasia Bailey of the Lions. Beautiful move there by Price. She goes up. That's 2 points for the Knights, or for the Lions rather.
Price has done a good job at making almost impossible looking shots go in. She's very good at, and as you can feel right there, she's good with her hands.
Price goes up and she's fouled by Corey Stout.
And that's a good foul. You don't want fast break points. You want to make them earn it from the free throw line. Corey Stout reaching in there trying to smack the ball out.
Like you mentioned earlier, number 0 for the Lions, Amari Price, making some of the most unconventional shots I've really ever seen. But one thing's for sure with her game, she always takes it into the bottom left side of the paint and then tries to go up for the high quality shot.
Yeah, very left heavy so far in this game. Of course, I mentioned to see if they'll try to make some trap defense on that left side for her, make things uncomfortable.
Takes her second free throw and it is missed, but the rebound is picked up here by the Lions. Lions bring it to the paint. That is yet another foul. That foul will go against number 40, Katie Garrish.
Coach Warrenberg is upset because it looks like when the Lions first rebounded that, she might have lost a little bit and double dribbled. Obviously the refs didn't see it that way, or maybe she just simply was dribbling it twice.
On the line for the Lions, number 34, Brittany Walker. Right in front of us, Coach Wardenberg for the Knights, appealing with the referee for that double dribble call. Hopefully they'll keep their eyes out for it the next time. As both free throws are sank, and now the Knights taking the ball up now. This is Dawn Mead. 3 ball is taken. Can't go down, and over the back call here against Katie Garrish yet again.
Another situation where it's still attempting to reach over. And I believe that was I believe that was number 25, Malay Dye. She had a teammate on the left corner. If she'd have had that one more pass, it would have been even more wide open 3.
I think instead of Leah Dye, it was number 35, Lorna Lay Suava.
And of course the Lions now being in the bonus.
First free throw made. Second one taken off the front iron. A lane violation here against number 31 of the Lions, Regine Newkirk.
Coach Wardenberg really emphasizing the need to rebound the basketball. It's one thing that I feel like when you have a roster that's shorter in height, it makes things difficult for you. You got to hustle that much more. You got to box out that much harder.
And with that, a jump ball call. Here, the ball belonged to the Lions. Saw a three there in the corner by Dawn Mead, but Knights having a little bit of trouble finding the rim at this point. Haven't had shots go down.
The main thing, they haven't had a lot of shots inside the paint. They haven't had a whole lot of action, even within the three-point line, really. Most of their points have come from three-pointers.
See Sophie White grabbing that rebound for the Knights. Trying to find Muse. As Wright drives in with a right-handed shot, and that won't find the back of the net, but it'll go off the Lions. This ball will stay with the Knights.
Setting up kind of a box inbound play here.
The quick pass in there to Suava. Suava just having the ball stripped from her, but it goes out of bounds yet again. Ball staying with the Knights.
I really like that out of bounds play they played there. One that was, when I played that ball, it was called fist. You have a lot of people crossing the paint.
Suava with the three and the foul. 4-point play opportunity here for the Knights.
They do count the three-pointer.
That foul was on number 24, Rachel Irby of the Lions.
I believe it was Dawn Mead who was basically just thrown to the ground. It's like that viral video everybody's seeing about that college basketball player who came and hit that one player who made a three-pointer. Not quite to the extreme.
Saw that as well, and that was just absolutely uncalled for, but that was a different game, and this is now, hope to see a little bit more class from both these teams here today than we saw in that.
Both teams having a little bit of trouble with their touch and free throw so far. Again, being as early in the season, there's still a lot of time for that free throw to be perfected and everything.
See Nicole Muse on the line. Thought it would have been Lorna Lee Suava, but foul call was elsewhere, not on the shot, as now the Lions take the ball up now. Great defensive work there by Muse, knocked the ball out, and the ball will belong to the Knights.
What a lucky bounce from Muse as she was able to tip it out, and it bounced off of the Lion offender's hands. Great play defensively.
Suava driving, trying to put that ball up with the right hand, but it got blocked out of bounds.
Again, they're running that in the paint play.
Knights having a hard time now on that right side of the court, trying to find the three-pointer. Not a lot of them have fallen so far. As Muse takes a three. Can't find it either, but collects her own rebound.
That's what coaches preach day in and day out, is when you shoot, you go after your own shot. You don't stand there and wait for the glory camera angle that people in the NBA get. You go after it and rebound the ball.
Another jump ball call here. This ball will stay with the Knights.
And it's great to see that once the Knights got off to that, the Lions, got to that 6-0 run, their offense is not as fast-moving and not as exciting as it was. Credit to the Knights' defense, of course.
Three-pointer taken from the corner and made. That is number 35, Lorna Lay Suava with the tray for the Knights.
great shot. She had a lot of pressure on her there in that corner, but able to make it a 2-point game.
Lions attempt a three-pointer of their own. Be a foul call on that shot.
Yeah, and that was a 3-point shot. She'll have 3 free throws.
And she makes the first one. On the line for the Lions, number 24, Rachel Irby. A junior from Kennesaw, Georgia. She attempts her second free throw.
The Lions so far doing a great job with free throws, shooting here.
2 out of 3, and that's rebounded by Garris, but Garris gives it up immediately to Lions yet again. That'll end the first quarter on that one off a shot of the Lions. Score now stands Piedmont College 22 and Southern Virginia Knights 18.
And the Knights kind of avoiding disaster there at the end of that quarter as Garris was able to box out really well and get that rebound, but kind of in a panic to try to get a last-second shot. She makes a mistake that most people make in pressure situations, passing it and then it being intercepted. But again, the Knights doing a great job of fighting back after being down so early on. And I mean, credit to this Lions team. They've come as advertised. They're a tough team. They're great shooting. They're very athletic, very good in the paint. I'm excited to see how the second quarter goes.
Absolutely, and just something you take away from that first quarter. This Knights team, when they slow down and run their offense, they do really well. Just really been struggling with turnovers so far. That might have to do with some of the inexperience in there so far, but this Lions team loves to play fast. As soon as they get it, they drive it right into the paint. And this Knights team doesn't play that way. They like to slow down, spread the floor, and look for open shots. We'll see which team is able to play their brand of basketball by the end of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just got some stats here. We see that Alexis Barnes is leading the Knights in scoring again. She has 8 points so far. And the team has 8 turnovers already in that first quarter, whereas against Salem they had a total of 14 in the whole game. So that's obviously a number that Coach Warrenberg doesn't want to see. It's a number you want to avoid as a team. We'll see if they can clean it up the rest of the game.
Starting the second quarter now. All belongs to Piedmont. It's an early foul call here against number 21, Savannah Christensen.
Yeah, that's because Christensen tried to reach her hand in there and bat the ball out, of course, getting in that area where refs are going to call a reach in most of the time.
Shot put up, and it goes in. That's a shot, left-handed shot by number 34, Brittany Walker.
Let's take a second to appreciate that inbound pass. Goodness gracious, and that spin move in order to get open like that.
Parrish can't find it. Now the Lions have the ball. Rebounded by Garrison. Pass quickly out to Mead.
Knights doing a lot better at post defense there, and also rebounding. They had 3 Knights in there that could have gotten that rebound. In fact, I believe 2 of them were fighting for it.
Wood with a wide open 3. Can't find it. Rebounded by Alexis Barnes. And Barnes will lose it. It'll go out of bounds off Barnes. It'll be Lions ball.
And Barnes is such a competitor. I mean, we've seen as she's led this team in scoring so far early on in this season, and even last season, how involved she was and how intense she is on defense. You see her there up against number 1. That was Amari Price she was defending.
Turnaround Jay off the back of the glass. Beautiful shot.
The Lions starting off really hot like the start of the first quarter. See if they can continue this pace, and if the Knights can do what they did at the end of the first quarter to slow it down.
Another turnover yet for the Knights. Quick drive and foul call here against the Knights. We'll see in a minute who was on.
And that was, I believe it was Savannah Christensen who that was guilty of that foul. We see Nicole Muse, the senior, at the scores table here, about to check in.
Looks like Muse will come in for Christensen.
And Christensen's had a couple of fouls so far today, and she's a great leader on this offense, so they obviously don't want her to foul out so early. They want to be able to use her as much as possible. And now finding themselves in a 10-point hole. Again, we want to see the Knights slow down the game a little bit like they do so well at.
Beautiful defensive work there by the Lions. Forced yet another jump ball call. Knights retaining possession though. Barnes inbounds this ball to Mead. Garrish with a quick shot, can't find it, gets her own rebound, goes back up again, and it is fouled on that attempt. She'll go to the line.
Again, the Knights struggling in the paint so far to get those baskets by number 40, Katie Garrish, and 41, Brooke Jorgensen. It's just they have two defenders down there that make it very tough for them. There's not very many shots falling for them right now.
But with that, Dawson, when there's two, obviously, if you're being double teamed, someone has to be open. So maybe instead getting that ball down there, instead of looking to immediately turn around and shoot, look to see which teammate's open, because one of them has to be.
Absolutely.
Now Garrish takes her second free throw. Can't find that one. Is rebounded here by the Lions.
And the Knights were shooting 50% from the free throw line in the first quarter. They were 3 for 6.
Three taken by the Lions. Missing.
Could have been called over the back if you ask me. That was 34, Brittany Walker, that would kind of reached over.
Now the game has stopped yet again to fix the shot clock. Resetting it back to 24 seconds. Now we see Dawn Mead trying to get her team in a position to score at this point.
The Lions, again, doing such a great job getting their hands up, hands extended on defense.
Beautiful move by Garrish. Under her defender, then puts it in for two.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's like only their second or third basket in the paint. So again, it's been tough for them so far early on the stretch. Setting a screen for Alexis Barnes as she goes to the corner.
Beautiful pass by Mead to find Garrish down there.
That's what we call an anticipation pass. She knew with the offense she was going to be back there, and she knew that post was not expected, the post defender for the Lions. Beautiful pass.
Quick drive in by Price, puts it up with the right hand.
Coach Warnberg wanted to speed things up here. And again, you saw Price with another great drive. Goodness gracious.
Barnes with a three and also a foul. This will be a 4-point play for the Knights.
Talk about pressure on a shot, falling to the ground as she's releasing it. My goodness, what a clutch shot by Alexis Barnes.
Alexis Barnes now in double digits. She's reached 11 points so far in this game. And she'll go to the line looking to tack one more on that tally.
And as the Knights close this gap here, you can expect to see a lot of shots designed for her, I feel like, as she's caught fire so far early on.
The free throw was good, and now
the Lions move the ball very quickly.
Charge call appealed for by number 20 of the Knights, Amanda Wood, and she'll get it. This ball will belong to the Knights.
And that came because of the great double team up at the top of the key. They got her cornered in, and she had nowhere to go, and so what does she do? She decides to run over a Knights defender, which of course is going to be a charge most of the time.
Finds Muse in the corner. Be a foul call on the floor here against the Lions.
I believe that was a number, if I'm not mistaken, 31. That's Regina Newkirk.
Barnes finds Garish. Garish back to Barnes. Couldn't get that inbound play to work, and this ball belongs to the Lions.
I like that. It's almost kind of like a tip drill in football, or like rugby. You catch it and you tip it behind yourself. Just tip it right to Alexis Barnes. The Lions are just a little bit more prepared for it than they expected.
Tried taking in the block call here against the Knights, it appears. And it will be against the Knights. That's number 10, Nicole Muse, with the block call. The two Knights players checking in for the game. Number 41, Brooke Jorgensen, and number 11, Corey Stout.
Yeah, with just over 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter. You want that experience in there with Corey Stout.
Ball stolen by Muse.
Her teammates on the, Corey Stout's teammates on the sideline wanting her to shoot that wide open three. And she knows that it was open too.
Didn't shoot it, elected instead pass it back to Muse. Now the ball being inbounded by Alexis Barnes. Barnes passes it into Stout.
You see a couple screens for Alexis trying to get her open.
And she'll get the ball. Out to Wood. Wood takes the shot from the elbow.
That was a good play. She's open on the corner of the free throw line and just not able to knock that in.
Shot taken by Price and sinks it. Give the Lions a 7-point lead here.
She's playing overall good basketball right now. She drives the lane. She's making those mid-range shots. She makes a three-pointer like you just saw there. Makes it hard for you to be defended.
Not only that, she's been doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball. That shot taken by the Lions, picked back up by Piedmont, now driven in. Charge call here against the Lions. That is number 24, Rachel Irby.
That's a sign to your coach. If you want to know as a coach if your players are moving their feet defensively, you can see that through the charging calls that are made against the other team. And it's a really beautiful thing for a coach to see, like so far in this first half, I believe the Lions have been guilty of about 4 or 5 charges. And so a coach can look at that saying, all right, defensively, we're being quick. We're being quick on our feet, and we're doing what we can defensively.
And also with that, shows you the determination of this Knights team to take the charges and get in the way of these brilliant drives that the Lions have had. The Knights right there, setting their feet and taking the charge, shows the willpower of this team.
Yeah, it really does. Again, being down early on and being down right now by about 7 points to a team, again, that on paper looks extremely impressive with last year's resume that they have. And the Knights job of limiting some of the things they do well, even though Price is having herself a game so far.
Price having a great game. She also in double digits, one of the 2 players in this game to reach that figure. Both her and Alexis Barnes both to double-digit points so far. And with only 4.5 minutes left to go here in the first half, there's a lot more basketball to be played, and look to see those 2 players making a lot of impact in the minutes to come.
Absolutely will be. And again, you've been seeing those screens that have been set for Alexis to get open. And the Lions, of course, seeing the damage that she can do, have noticed that and have gotten defenders out on those screens. Very well done by the Lions defensively. And so they're going to have to get a little bit creative in order to get Alexis Barnes in the game, or they're going to have to find someone else who's a hot hand and get them more involved.
See the Knights with the ball here. This is Corey Stout. Travel call here against Knights number 20, Amanda Wood. The ball now belongs to the Lions.
Yeah, and again, Amanda Wood, the McDaniels transfer here. That's what we call kind of the hesitation move. You know, you look out for a pass, you're trying to figure out exactly what you want to do, and the mind starts to go into a slight panic, and then your feet move without even realizing it.
Wide open three-pointer by the Lions. They don't make it. That's number 10, Sarah Beth Hansard. No one there. Wide open, and she'll drain the three. And give the Lions a 10-point lead.
Yeah, Hansard really snuck behind there, really unbeknownst to anybody in the Knights squad.
Three taken by the Knights, rebounded by Jorgensen. She fell on the ground, and that'll be a travel call here against Brooke Jorgensen of the Knights.
Yeah, if it wasn't going to be a travel, it was probably going to end up being a 3-second rule violation. Very unfortunate play there for their offense.
Now we see freshman Dawn Mead back in the game here for the Knights. Corey Stout not getting a lot of minutes, maybe just trying to get Mead some more experience. She's had some great plays here in this game so far, so nothing really to complain. Coach using his players to his disposal.
That was a nice cut. Fortunate for the Knights, they weren't able to finish on that play to keep the lead at 10.
Shot by Mead. That'll be no good, and this ball will now belong to the Lions.
Yeah, she tried to come off the screen, and she tried to pull what I call a Curry or Durant move. You try to get right on that screen and immediately get the ball, because that's when you're the most open, is right when you pass that screen and allow no time for the defender to come up to you. That time, just obviously a little bit too far to the side.
Well, if you can do that, go for it, I'd say, because definitely an open shot, and the Knights need points badly here with 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. The 3-second call here against the Lions. Both teams turning over the ball so far quite a few times in this game.
Turnovers are things that make coaches' hairs or start losing their hair. It keeps you awake at night. It keeps you stressed out during practice, because you know that's so frustrating. It's something that can totally be controlled by you for the most part.
See the Knights turning the ball over yet again. Not exactly sure what that call was.
I believe that was another 3-second violation. So back-to-back for both teams.
And now we know it is 3 seconds, because Coach Adam Wardenberg yelling at the referees at that point, a feeling that the ball needs to be across half court before 3 seconds can even happen. Price driving the ball in yet again for the Lions and putting it in for 2. Shot by Barnes. Can't make it, rebounded by Wood and put back in. Shot from the elbow goes in for the Knights.
And it's those shots that are really the shots of the game, the shots that keep you in the game and keep you within reach. A lot of people like to think about, oh, the game-winning shots, oh, the shot that puts you within one, or the and one that can give you a free throw to win the game. No, it's the shots that you make to keep yourself in a situation where that can happen. And that was one of those right there.
Absolutely, and this Knight team doing a great job so far with second chance points. Have several offensive rebounds. And now we see Mead draining the three, surrounded by 2 defenders. Brilliant shot by Mead.
Able to split the arms of the defenders again. Both defenders having their hands up, able to sneak it in there. My goodness.
Ball saved by Garish. Great hustle play by the Knights. Now Alexis Barnes takes the ball. Takes it in as she is met and blocked. Looks like this ball will stay with the Knights.
That was a great defensive stop for the Knights. Very well timed again, coming within 7 points. And number 40, I believe it was, Katie Garris saving it. My goodness, it was an athletic play to get it back. Alexis Barnes just going up for it.
Three-pointer taken by Muse. She finds it as well. That's another tray for the Knights.
That's great passing basketball by the Knights, seeing the open man, even if Muse hasn't hit a lot of shots so far today. And then Price doing the same thing.
Amari Price responding with a 3 of her own. Price stripping the ball from Mead. Price goes up and she's fouled on her way to the basket. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's her second steal of the day for her, I believe, that she just reaches in there and taps the ball out. Again, Price just making so many great plays for her Lions team. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she has most of their points right now.
I think she does. She leads the team in scoring at this point. She drains her first free throw.
And again, we get just under a minute left in the second quarter until halftime.
In the final minute here, as that free throw is missed, and Alexis Barnes takes it up for the Knights. Meade dribbling in, looking for a shot, but that is blocked by Brittany Walker. And now the Lions have a fast break opportunity. Shot goes up, and that's good. That's for two. See Muse going up there, and she'll be fouled. She'll go to the line for two. That foul's on number 34, the Lions, Brittany Walker. That'll send Nicole Muse to the line with 23.7 seconds left to go here in this first half. We enter the final 23 seconds here in this first half. Number 0 for the Lions, Amari Price, taking the ball up yet again. Probably will hold the ball and look for the last shot of the game as the shot clock is turned off. Price met with a double team. Price passes it in, and they'll find yet another basket. That's number 30, Abby Craven, and the Knights hustling with 5 seconds left to go. Meade has the ball. Meade takes it, and the ball will be stripped. And the first half will end. Score stands. The Lions of Piedmont College 46 and the Southern Virginia Knights 35. Both teams battling really hard there in that first half. For the Lions, their leading scorer, Amari Price, she had 18 in that first half. And with that, in the end of the first half, we'll toss it over to Dawson Wiedrick, who's standing with the coach Adam Wardenberg. Dawson?
I'm a Coach Wardenberg, and Coach, in that first half, we saw Price, number 0 for Piedmont, have herself a little bit of a good half. She had a lot of great outside shooting and inside drives. What are some things you feel like you can do to limit her in the second half?
Well, the first thing we got to do is stop her in transition. That's number 1. And number 2, I think she's hit 3 threes in that half. We got to get a higher hand, and we got to have better help when she's driving as well.
And again, you saw some good outside shooting by your Knights as well. Alexis Barnes, of course, having herself a good first half as well. What are some things that you feel like you can do to help her to stay involved in the offense and make sure she doesn't get trapped by this Lions defense?
Well, first of all, we're shooting way too many threes. We really got to drive a lot more than what we're doing right now. And once we shoot threes, we got to crash the boards as well to get our misses. So we'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
We welcome you back here to the Knight Arena again joined by Dawson Weidrich. Dawson, just a little bit of words on there in that first half. Score right now stands Lions of Piedmont College 46 and the Southern Virginia Knights 35. Knights having a hard time finding shots and turning the ball over quite so much. Dawson, what can you say just to kind of explain that first half here for the Knights?
Well, what Coach Warrenberg said was very true. The Knights are shooting way too many outside shots, specifically three-pointers. They made a decent amount of them, but they really need to drive the paint more. They really need to get inside the paint and get those easy shots in for them, because if you don't get that, that's going to frustrate you quite a bit. And if you shoot way too many threes, I mean, you're going to lose your rhythm in that eventually. But again, defensively, at least what Coach is telling me is that they really need to lock down Amari Price. She ended up with 18 points after that first half, and she was just, no matter who they put on her, she was able to drive by and get a lot of layups and had so many open threes as well. But good thing for the Knights, though. Alexis Barnes with 12 points, leading the Knights in scoring again, and just having herself a game. And you're right, you talk about the turnovers. We had 15 turnovers in that first half. That you can't have that.
Absolutely, and definitely would like to see that more from Alexis Barnes in the second half, maybe shut down Amari Price. That'll do it for us here for halftime. We thank you so much for joining us. Hope you'll join us back here after halftime break for more women's basketball action. Thank you so much, and we'll see you after halftime.
Oh, thank goodness. O'Brien told me. Just press on me real quick. I'm just talking all this. Talking all that shit. Gonna get me fired already. True, very true. Very true. Right. You can go right there. And that'll be perfect. Sorry, I don't mean to be in your space. Sorry, guys.
Welcome back to the Knight Arena. We find ourselves here at halftime. Knights down with a deficit in this game. Again, I'm Chris Flood, joined by Dawson Riedrich. Dawson, what can we make there of that first half?
The big thing that stands out to me is turnovers. We talked about how against Salem they only had a total of 14 in the whole game. That first half, they had 15. It was a combination of reckless passing, but it was also great defense on Piedmont's part. Of course, number 0, Amari Price, getting her hands in there with the point guard a lot of times. She's very great with their hands. Great defensive team as far as handwork is concerned, getting their hands up in the air. Very disruptive for this Knights offense. So what the Knights need to do is they really need to just take care of the ball, be that much more conscious about it. Because when you just simply throw the ball willy-nilly like you want to, it's going to get turned over. And you don't want that. That's the last thing a coach wants. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that that's what makes coaches' hairs gray. You know, turnovers, you cringe at them every time it happens. Because, again, it's, as a player, you know it's something you can prevent. You know what you need to do. You know the pass you need to make and how to make it. It's just when it doesn't work out that way and when you lose the ball and dribble, it just grows more frustrating. Now, the thing with the Knights is they need to make sure they don't get frustrated when it does happen. Because when you get frustrated, when you cause a turnover, it happens again. And then again, it's a snowball effect. So the Knights really need to recuperate their mind about the second half.
Definitely really tough first half there for the Knights. But they did find some great success through shooting guard Alexis Barnes, ending that first half with 12 points, leading the Knights in scoring. Some of the Knights' best moments have been the time they've taken their time, have a great drawn up play for Barnes, and she just knocks down the shot. She's done phenomenal this first half for the Knights.
She really has, and the play that I can point at is that and one three-pointer that she made when she was knocked to the ground afterwards. And I mean, again, very great playmaker. And I'm going to refer back to what Coach Warrenberg said right after the first half, was that they needed to get more inside shots. They've had a couple of mid-rangers, but that's about it. Everything else has been just about three-pointers. And when you have that, again, three-pointers are going to fade eventually. They're going to stop going in once fatigue sets in. The shots that are always going to go in, or at least 95% of the time they should go in, are those layups, those inside shots, those post shots that get inside. So they really need to focus on those plays and get their offense more set up, more organized towards their posts if they're going to want to win this game.
The Knights are trying to get the ball into Katie Garish and Brooke Jorgensen all night, but they've been met by this tough defense of the Lions. It's really nitty-gritty, able to force the Knights to turn the ball over, like you just said earlier. Turnover's been a real big problem here for the Knights, and a little bit of inexperience to do with that, but also the great defense being played by the Lions. And the Lions doing great on offense as well. Their leading scorer, Amari Price, ending that first half with 18 points. She's just been unstoppable, and it hasn't been from outside. It's been from right in that paint inside the middle.
Yeah, absolutely, driving down the left side, specifically like we mentioned before. And sometimes they're almost circus shots. But, you know, she's experienced enough where she knows how she can make those shots, how she can make them go in. You kind of have to practice those in practice, have those situations where it's unorthodox, but you have to make it work. Or else you're just going to be trying to shoot perfect layups every time. And let's be honest, those warm-up layups you do, it's not going to work like that ever. Unless you're wide open, fast break, and you're LeBron James. But again, you just gotta really have the improvisation, and Price has shown that she is really great at that.
And the Knights have had their sparks of brilliance, but like you said earlier, the Lions just finding a way to make it work here in that first half. Hope to see more in the second half. Hope to see the Knights take more controlled shots, get the ball in the paint. They've relied a lot on the three so far. Has some great shots, like you said, from Alexis Barnes, but also from Suava. She's had 6 points in this game, both coming off of great three-pointers, but haven't seen her too much in this game so far.
I mean, it's just, again, going back to, they need to be more defensive. They need to be better defensively. Again, they need to make sure they limit Price and limit her scoring abilities, and they just, again, just really need to do better defensively.
And that'll do it for us here. We'll head back over to our bench. We'll get you back here in this game with more second half action. We'll see you then. And the second half is underway as the Lions of Piedmont College take the ball up here. They boast a lead of 46-35 here against the Southern Virginia Knights. Ball stolen by Katie Garish there down in the paint.
Great job at Garish to get in the way of that pass, staying where she needed to be, not really moving, and she got in the way of that lane and able to make that interception. Great job.
This is the first time we get to see a Knights possession here in this second half. Need looks in for Garish. Garish puts up a left-handed shot, can't find it. Rebounded by the Lions. This is number 24, Rachel Irby.
And again, like we talked about, they're trying to get it inside, get that, make sure they're not just shooting outside shots.
Takes the three, and it finds its way into the hoop. That's 3 points for the Piedmont College Lions. That shot was taken by number 1, Jatasia Bailey.
She's been also a secret player in this game, Bailey being. She's made some very clutch shots. She had 8 points in that first half. She's a very quiet player, but she's very productive.
That's a great shot in the paint there by number 40, Katie Garish.
They finally get that post play. They've won it all night long.
Oh my, just a wide open shot there by the Lions. Number 24, Rachel Irby, but great job there by Amari Price to find her teammate wide open in the paint. That goes down for 2 for the Lions.
You'll hear basketball coaches all over the world telling their teams, get back on defense, especially in that situation. They score a basket, You get that momentum, you get excited. But if you don't get back fast enough, especially against this Lions team who move the ball up the court really fast, you're going to be in trouble.
Timeout taken by the Knights coach Adam Wardenberg. Things he wants to fix here at the beginning of this second half. Team turning over the ball a few times and just not having their heads there on defense. Mentioning what he's telling his girls right now at this point.
And again, we talked about before the game how Coach Wardenberg's kind of a very quiet and very genuine, also kind of a go-with-the-flow kind of attitude. But we've seen a different side of that so far today in this game. He's been very fired up. He's been very energetic, of course, as a coach should be. And it's just been very, very exciting to see how into this game he is emotionally. And I feel like that as the season goes on, he continues to coach at SVU, that emotion is going to carry on to his players.
Very animated when it comes to game time. Like you said, we talked to him earlier in the week. Been quite reserved, a little bit of quiet. Didn't know how it was going to translate onto the basketball court. But we've seen it tonight. And we've definitely heard it. He's not too far away from our bench here. And, oh, man, I wouldn't want to be a Knights player at this point in the timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most coaches are people you don't want to upset or people you don't want to let down. Because, I mean, I remember I had a high school football coach. He was Coach M, quietest guy ever. And he didn't yell. He couldn't yell. But when you did something wrong, you knew. And he let you know in the comments way. And every coach has their own way of relating to their players, how they need to improve, how they need to get better. And again, like you just said, it's cool to see how Coach Wardenberg has adjusted with this team so far.
And Coach Adam Wardenberg absolutely loved by his players. In the interviews we had with them, they spoke nothing but praise for Coach Wardenberg. They love playing under him. They love practice. They say he's the nicest coach they've had. He keeps them in check, keeps them accountable for what they do, and that's what a great coach does. And we've got one here at Southern Virginia University.
Maybe a fast break opportunity.
It looks to be a charge call here against Knights. That's number 21, Savannah Christensen.
If I'm not mistaken, that'll give her fourth of the game. And yeah, in fact, it will. Puts her in a little bit of foul trouble here. That was a great screen. That was, again, almost a disaster play for the Knights. When you get a steal, it's so tempting to just dribble right away and get going fast, whereas if you're surrounded by four players, you really just need to stop and clear it out. That was a good defensive effort by Barnes in order to get back and get her hand on the ball, at least mostly on the ball. And I mean, you talk about this Knights offense and how we talk about how the posts were getting double teamed and how they need to kick it out. They did it right then. They kicked it out to an open three-point shooter. They just need to do that more often, and maybe not always from the three-point line.
Number 1, Tasia Bailey.
That's Justasia Bailey, who just made that basket, who's now on the floor here. And so we'll have a little timeout here. She's being assisted by her coaches. And with that injury, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with you on the Night Sports Network. back, just Deja Bailey having to be assisted off the court. And now as play resumes, we'll have Dawn Mead taking that up the floor for the Knights. As is approached by Price. With another 3-second violation on the Knights.
And now the Lions taking the ball up here. Tried to pass it in there to number 21, Hope Franklin. Ball broken up by the Knights.
With just over 6.5 minutes left in this third quarter, being down by 16, you got to be really disciplined defensively, because you know there's very little room for error if you want your offense to come back.
And with that disappointment, more to come for the Knights as the wide open shot by number 15, Kelly Ackerman, for the Lions there, finds its way through the rim. A shot by Barnes. Can't find it. Tried to be rebound by Sophie Wright, but instead an over-the-back call against the Knights, number 14, Sophie Wright.
You know, coaches always say long shots make long rebounds, and long rebounds are the most difficult to get because you have to box people out and then, of course, make situations where over-the-back can happen. That's happened a couple times so far for the Knights tonight.
Checking in for the Knights, number 11, Corey Stout, the junior from Murray, Utah. She comes in for Dawn Mead.
You know, honestly, I'm really surprised at how Corey Stout is playing her right now. I mean, her being Price. She's doing a really good job moving her feet.
Saw 2 blocks there for the Knights. Beautiful defensive play as Alexis Barnes grabbing that rebound falls to the ground, and it'll be a travel call against the Knights. Coach Adam Waterberg just giving some instruction to his girls there on the court. Ball now being inbounded here by the Lions.
Doubling on the post there. Taking a play out of the Lions playbook here.
See what the referee's call are. The referee saying that the ball didn't hit the rim. Coach Adam Wurtemberg visually upset with the call here by the referee, having a few words with the man in the striped shirt.
And it's not just Coach Wurtemberg, it's many fans here at Knight Sports Arena right now who are very confused about that.
With the fans confused, they're not the only ones. I myself a little confused on that call. But now we see a travel call here against the Lions. The Knights regaining possession of the ball after a massive confusing calls by the referee and disappointment shown by the Knights bench. But nevertheless, Knights taking the ball up. This is number 11. This is Corey Stout.
It's always nice when things like that happen where an unusual call happens that goes against your team, but then something happens right away and it goes back to your ball. It happens more often than people tend to think. But it's almost like the equivalent of the ball don't lie.
That's a charge call here against Alexis Barnes. Great way to draw the foul by number 15, Kelly Ackerman of the Lions.
And that gives Barnes 3 fouls so far tonight. And again, we talk about taking charges means you're moving your feet, and that's exactly what Kelly Ackerman did in order to get in the way of Alexis Barnes.
Knights need a stop here. Pass broken up by number 14, Sophie Wright, but unfortunately goes out of bounds. But that's great work by the Knights team. They need a stop on this possession.
And that's exactly what you're going to need in order to do it, with number 14, Sophie Wright, getting in the way of passes, disrupting the offense, making the Lions uncomfortable. That's how you get teams flustered and make them turn the ball over. They're working a high-low offense to the post.
Push back in. Oh, ball looked to be poked loose by Garrett, but taken back by the Lions.
And Newkirk being guilty of that traveling, and that happens a lot of times when the ball comes to you when you don't expect it, which is her case. rolled to her, and all of a sudden she had it. She didn't know what to do, and she decided to go over the shot, set her feet, and shuffled them too much, according to the ref.
Media timeout here as both coaches look to have a word with their respective teams. Knights with a huge deficit here, down by 18 points here in the third quarter. Need to find a way to get back in this game. Need a defensive stop and just need to find open shots. They've really struggled finding open shots, and with the open shots they've had, putting them in.
Yeah, and the Knights haven't had a basket since that one basket they had in the paint by Garish. When we talked about how they wanted to get the ball in the paint more. And since then, like you said, I've been really struggling offensively with fouls, with turnovers, with missed passes, and a lot of three-point shooting, exactly what Coach Warrenberg did not want to do in the second half.
Knights need to find a way to take more high-quality shots, and the more of those you take, the higher the percentages. A lot of them are going to go in. Need to keep feeding Garish there. Alexis Barnes has been open a few times, but the Lions of Piedmont College know that as soon as Barnes gets the ball, they need to crowd her. They send 2 or 3 defenders at her, and they've choked the ball. They've choked the possession of the Knights and haven't been able to give the Knights breathing room. And Knights need to find it desperately here at this point.
Yeah, this is where adjustments come, and you know that your player, being Alexis Barnes, is hot right now. She's been scoring a lot. She's been doing a great job offensively. And how do you adjust when teams start to double her? Who do you go to? Who is your backup plan? Who is the one that's going to be open when she's not? And that's where they need to find.
Someone needs to step up, as now the Knights taking possession here. Find Stout. See them looking into Garish. She's being double teamed the entire time. And those same 2 players that are on Garish will find their way to Barnes if she gets the ball. Drive in. Off the back iron and rebounded by Wood.
And you saw Ackerman for the Lions almost wide open for another 3. That's because those double teams were trying to do at the post.
Ball taken in by Barnes and a block call here against number 15, Ackerman.
Ackerman trying to draw another charge like she did early on in the third quarter, but of course that one, she didn't plant her feet quite fast enough.
Now the Knights look to inbound this ball. This is Barnes. Barnes looks for Garish.
Would have had an easy layup if she'd been able to handle that pass.
Great drive by Barnes, and the offensive rebound by Garish. She puts it back up for 2.
And the Knights finally get into the basket from Garish again in order to end that drought. That's very much needed.
Saw an early block there by Alexis Barnes. Offensive rebound regained by Ackerman. She puts it back up, and she's fouled on that attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 here for the Lions. Ackerman's first shot is good. Lions finding a lot of success here with second chance points, have a lot of offensive rebounds. What can you make of that?
I mean, I don't know. All I can say really right now is that the Lions have done a really good job at preventing the Knights from making the changes they have wanted to make. They have prevented them from making the adjustments they want to make offensively. Talk about them wanting to go to the post more. The Lions have doubled down on that. They made it harder to pass into the post. And again, it's impressive to see how the adjustment for the Lions has been to prevent the adjustment of the Knights.
And I think that's what we need to see from the Knights. They're not able to get it down to the post, and we just saw Amanda Wood drain the 3, try to get this Knights team back in it. Knights team, they slowed down in the first half, and that's what they needed to do. But I think it's changed. I think they need to speed up here in this second as a timeout is taken by the Lions of Piedmont College.
Yeah, I can agree with that, as Piedmont College obviously won a timeout after that turnover. As, again, we've talked about earlier how plays like that can really turn the table, it being 3.5 minutes left in this third quarter. If things keep switching towards the Knights' way, we can have ourselves a very different fourth quarter.
This game is setting up, it keeps going the way it does. A very exciting fourth quarter. Hopefully the Knights can ride this little bit of momentum that they have off that 3-pointer and carry it and make something greater from it.
And a big thing about basketball, and this is true for many sports, but I feel like basketball in particular, 15 points, that's not a lot. That is just simply a couple baskets away from being within reach. You know what I mean? It's a similar thing with with football, same thing with volleyball. That amount of points is not too far of a reach. If you get a certain amount of momentum, start making some makeable shots and some easy shots, you find yourself in the thick of things really quickly.
Pass to Barnes in the corner. Looks for Garrish. That pass wasn't there. Broken up by number 30, Abby Craven of the Lions.
You saw a double team at the post yet again. That's something the Lions have done a really good job at tonight, is getting that double team, but also not letting other people be too wide open in order to make that hurt them.
Stout gives the ball in to Garrish. Looks out for Barnes. Barnes looks to go up. Tried to appeal for the foul there, but didn't get it. She had Muse wide open for the three. Elected instead to take a shot, and the ball belonged to Piedmont. Beautiful block there by Garrish, and able to recover after trying to bounce the ball off her shins.
To get the block and the steal, and also react to that attempt to bounce it off her leg out of bounds at the same time. That's impressive.
Alexis Barnes with a three. Can't find it, but it's rebounded by the Knights. This is Garrish. Garrish looked to put it up, and the foul call here. Looks like it'll send Garrish to the line to shoot two. Obvious foul there. Foul against number 21, Hope Franklin.
And that gives Hope Franklin 3 fouls so far tonight.
See 3 substitutes coming in for the Knights. Dawn Mead, Sophie Wright, and Savannah Christensen all making their way into the game. And on for the bench, Alexis Barnes, Amanda Wood, and Corey Stout.
Of course, they're wanting Alexis Barnes to be at her 100% come fourth quarter so that they can make a run there.
Garrish's second free throw is good. 3 taken from the corner, in and out, rebounded by Savannah Christensen of the Knights. Knights getting off a little lucky there. Looked to be another 3 points for the Lions.
That's a foul on Price. And what's interesting is we haven't seen a whole lot from Price in this third quarter.
Definitely not. Price not having the second half she would have wanted. She did great in that first half, ending it with 18 points. Haven't really mentioned her name too much in this one. Knights doing a great job of not letting her have her way. To Nicole Muse dribbling in, trying to take a shot here for the Knights.
Difficult to see what the call was there. I think they said that Christensen dribbled the ball out of bounds after the double team.
Either way, another turnover for the Knights here, and an unwanted one as they need to get back in this game. Score stands right now, Lions 57, Knights 43.
Great defense by Christensen.
Didn't block out, and just a wide open shot there for Hope Franklin. We just said great defense by Christensen, but she lost sight of Franklin, and Franklin still had the ball. Easy 2 points for the Lions.
She bit hard on the pump fake and therefore went back and looked at the other post player for the Lions. And
mid-range shot for Mead. 2 points for the Knights. Price taking the ball in there, looking to make something happen, but broken up by this Knights defense. Turnover by Price. Substitute coming in here for the Knights, going off the court, number 41, Brooke Jorgensen, and in her stead, number 40, Katie Garrish. Now Dawn Mead has the ball. Quick shot taken, finds nothing, saved by Sophie Wright, and saved yet again by Dawn Mead. Beautiful hustle play by the Knights here, saving near disaster. Ball stolen by Price from Mead. Knights looking to hustle to get it back. And timeout taken by the Lions. And now the Knights going into a timeout. Coach Adam Wardenberg just having a word with him. Be interesting to see what he's saying there in that timeout. See the Knights team having a champion's call and exiting that timeout. You can see what they changed. Coming into the last minute of the third quarter. Score stands right now. The Lions of Piedmont College 59 and the Knights 45. As now the Lions take the ball out. This is Amari Price. Passing in yet again. Shot goes up, a beautiful block there by Katie Garish. This ball belonged to the Knights. Great defensive work there by the sophomore from Annandale, Virginia. Goes back into Garish. Garish puts it off the back of the glass. That's down for 2. Last 30 seconds here of this third quarter. Passes the ball into Franklin. Franklin goes up. Rebounded by the Lions. Met again by Garish in the paint.
A great block there in order to get this defense some more sparks here at the end of this third quarter.
3-point shot taken by Christensen. Rebounded by the Knights, Sophie Wright. Shot taken by Mead, and that'll fall short. That'll end the third quarter. Score stands right now, Lions of Piedmont College 59, Knights 47. Knights clawing away at this deficit.
Yeah, again, we talked about earlier how 15 points is not a whole lot, and the Knights really buckling down defensively there in the home stretch in that third quarter. Now making it a 12-point game. And again, if you're the Knights and you've turned the ball over the way you have in the first 3 quarters and you've had some mistakes early on like you've had, and only to be a 12-point game, that's a good sign. That says to you, hey, we're in this thing. We can win this. Let's play the best we can. Let's not turn the ball over. Let's play focused basketball, and let's see if we can go out and win this thing.
Definitely great to see for the Knights as they were down by almost 20 earlier in that third quarter. They clawed their way back in this game, had some great plays, some great defensive stops by Katie Garish. 2 blocks in a row. Just can't say enough about what she's done for this Knights team because the Lions have continued to try to get this ball in the paint. They're not electing to take the outside shot. They're trying to get it to their bigs down low, and our bigs meeting them right there in the paint and saying, come on, we're ready for you. And Katie Garish showing her willpower down there.
Yeah, we talked about how Price had 18 points at the end of the first half. And guess what? She still has 18 points. The Knights have done so well defensively limiting her offense. And then now Katie Garish climbing up into the leaderboards and scoring for the Knights, having 12 points along with Alexis Barnes. Again, a sign of them using the post game more rather than the outside game.
And what they've done really well is that instead of just trying straight to go to Garish, they've passed the ball in, they spread the floor, and then Garish is open. Instead of having double teams, she's met one-on-one. And Katie Garish, almost an unstoppable force when met one-on-one. She has the ball yet again, puts it up with the left hand, can't find it. Rebounded by Hope Franklin of the Lions.
The Knights putting a lot of pressure there on their own side of the court.
Game stopped yet again as the shot clock not being run. Referees telling to reset it to 22 seconds.
And we said it a couple times during this game how when Alexis Barnes is playing well, who do the Knights turn to in order for scoring? I feel like that the Lions have found that out for themselves. They had Jatasia Bailey getting in there as well as Rachel Irby and making up and scoring there. As again, Jatasia Bailey, that secret kind of quiet player that has been scoring for the Lions in this game.
Both teams turning the ball over in a matter of seconds. That Price drives into the lane and finds the bottom of the net for 2.
Price finally getting in the scores column in the second half after a fantastic first half.
Tries to get it to Alexis Barnes. Jump ball call here. See a little bit of chippiness between both teams. Knights, Alexis Barnes, and looks to be number 21, Hope Franklin of the Lions.
I think she's upset because when she went on the floor I believe her knee got kind of in an awkward position, maybe causing her a little bit of discomfort, and therefore it gets you upset.
Didn't look like Barnes initiated anything at that point, just went down, might have been a little hurt. I saw a little bit of a twinge in her face, but we'll see what the referees do here. And like you mentioned earlier, Jatasia Bailey for the Lions doing a great job here in the second half, stepping up, because Amari Price only having one basket here in the second half. Jatasia Bailey doing a great job. She's entered double digits. She has 13 points at this point.
And of course you see Coach Wardenberg in a very calm manner, talking to his team emotionally, making sure that they're nice and focused for the remainder of this fourth quarter. Because again, in games like this, it gets chippy. It gets intense. And I mean, you think just because it's girls basketball, that's going to be nice and everybody's going to be cheering for each other. No, it's the exact opposite. It's like the difference between you seeing guys fighting and girls fighting. I've had some conversations with people talking about this. It can get scary when girls get intense in a game, and as focused as they are, they're as dangerous as anybody.
These athletes definitely have something to prove both on the basketball court, but you don't want to mess with their personal lives as well. We'll see what the referees say here about that whole altercation. See Coach Adam Wardenberg having a word with the referee at this point. Not exactly sure what went down there. Looks like it'll restart here with the Lions. Not exactly sure what they did about it, but Lions taking the ball up and referee stopping play. Stopping the shot clock yet again, asking it to be set to 15 seconds.
Still some conversations with the refs and the scores table here.
Instead, not 15 seconds, is having a conversation about number 15 of the Lions, Ackerman. Not sure what that was all about, but nevertheless, basketball continues as Amari Price takes the ball up here for the Lions. Has been another block by Garrish. She's been unstoppable down there.
What a block by Garrish. Goodness, she just reached a hand up, threw it straight down. My goodness.
Alexis Barnes passes it to Christensen into Garrish in the paint. Tries to go up, but met with a block of her own. That's number 34, Brittany Walker, with a denial. And Price goes up. Count the basket. That's an and one for Amari Price.
With all the scoring she's done in this game, a lot of what she's done has been, again, those drives to the paint. She's done a great job making those shots with contact, and again right there for the and one. As that is Dawn Mead's second foul of the game.
Shot goes up, and that is good. Just never see Corey Stout bringing the ball up here for the Knights.
Again, find themselves down by 17 in this fourth quarter.
Alexis Barnes handing the ball, passes it to Stout. Knights moving the ball well. Savannah Christensen in the corner with the three.
She had to rush her shot a little bit there just because the pass is a little bit too far away. She had to lean over and grab it.
Notice the Lions have the ball, pass it in to Franklin. Blocked by Christensen and then tip rebound by Garrish to Christensen. Foul on number 21, Savannah Christensen of the Knights.
And that'll be Christian's fifth foul of the game.
In for her, number 10, Nicole Muse. Inbounded by the Lions.
That was quite the mismatch with Brittany Walker being covered by Corey Stout. Worked out well for the Knights, though.
Drove in by Muse. She puts it up. It'll be fouled. It won't find the bottom of the net, but she's sent to the line to shoot two for the Knights. See, Muse misses that first one.
And you were talking about blocks by Garish earlier. We just found out that the team has 5 blocks, or 6 blocks as a team. It's doing a great job in the paint of limiting those players.
See the Lions taking the ball up now. This is Price. She's met by Muse. Look for the step back. Decided to pass it out.
Muse great on her feet, getting to that step back quickly to prevent that shot.
Drives it in.
And Garish taking the charge. Great job by Garish to set her feet, plant herself in front of, I believe that was Price, if I'm not mistaken, and take that charge. Well done.
Knights have possession of the ball now. Pass it on to the top to Garish. Barnes with the corner 3. It won't find it. Rebounded by Hope Franklin of the Lions.
Alexis Barnes has kind of hit a cold streak from the 3-point line so far in this half.
And that's a charge call against Amari Price of the Lions. It'll be Knights ball.
Amanda Wood taking that charge. And the Knights starting to move their feet a little bit better now, making sure that they are set and taking those charges because they know that's what the Lions want to do. They want to drive to the paint.
Now Stout brings this ball up for the Knights. Passes it into Amanda Wood. Muse with a 3. Can't find it. Rebounded by Franklin.
Offensive rebound's been so hard to come by for the Knights in the second half.
Haven't found many that had great success in that first half, and even in the third quarter, with offensive rebounding just not able to find their groove on that side of the game so far in this fourth quarter.
And that really limits your offense if you're not able to get offensive rebounds. If you're just having one shot and done, and I mean, if most in that situation your shots are missing, that really discourages you. And that makes it really hard to get in the mental flow of your offense.
The holding call, offensive foul against Hope Franklin. It'll be Knights ball. Hope Franklin, that's her 4th foul of the game, so she's in foul trouble. The Knights maybe looking to exploit that a little bit here on this possession.
You saw at the bottom of your screen that was our announcer here, Chris Fly, who had to catch that ball.
A bucket by Garish and Dawson. I was thinking about just dropping that ball, but then I realized I was on camera and needed to impress some folks.
Yeah, indeed. You have to make sure that your highlight reel gets out there, Chris. But again, a great pass by Barnes to the post from the out of bounds, right in front of our table here. She just saw that lane, threw a dart into there, and Garish able to finish it.
Knights finding himself in a little bit more of a deficit than they like to be, down 14 points. There's around 5 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. Need to find answers and need to find it quick. See Dawn Mead making her way to the bench, or making her way to the scorer's table, looking to check in here for the Knights.
The Knights so far would like to go underneath the screens that the Lions are setting.
Shot taken up, and that is good by number 15, Kelly Ackerman.
Ackerman, another player for the Lions that has really stepped up when Price hasn't been able to get the baskets that she wants to get.
This is Barnes. She's met, but it's a charge call against Alexis Barnes. Charge drawn by number 24, Rachel Irby of the Lions.
And if we understand correctly, that is Alexis Barnes' 5th foul.
It'll be a timeout now. Knights in a deficit, down 16 points. And with this break in the action, just take a minute to just say thank you to all the people tuning in to the Knights Sports Network. Again, like we like to mention here on the Knights Sports Network, first fully student-run broadcasting network here at Southern Virginia, and we're just really grateful and appreciative to all the fans and all the people that tune into our broadcast and just allowing us to do the things we love and allowing their athletes to come to school and do the things they love. We just thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, especially a big shout out to all the parents of these athletes. Of course, the majority of the viewers we have are those parents. And again, allowing us to help you watching your children play. If you're not able to come for yourselves, it's too far away. Again, we love doing this. It's so fun. You have games, exciting scenarios like this game. Again, the score being 16-point deficit, but still being a very exciting game, very fun to watch. And again, we just love doing it here on the Night Sports Network.
Absolutely, and not just the parents and friends of the basketball players, but also for the great spirit squad here at SVU. They do such a great job. Sometimes it's overlooked as the sports event here take main precedent, but got to give kudos and props to the whole spirit squad and their staff and all the fans and parents watching on behalf of them.
And that was Muse getting her hand in there on Price, and Muse being the person that Coach Wardenberg has decided to put on Price, as Muse has shown that she is the quickest defender on the floor in order to take that job.
Now we see the Lions have the ball now with 4.5 minutes left to go here in this game. Pump fake gets Garish up, and it'll find the bottom of the net. That's number 34, Brittany Walker, able to get Garish up in the air and puts it down for 2. Great pass by Muse into Garish, and that's another basket for the Knights.
So you find yourself down by 16, 4 minutes left. You're starting to run out of time. You really need to start making baskets fast, run your offense fast, just like they did there in that pass to Garish.
See what the Lions decide to do here on this possession. Bad pass by number 30, Abby Craven.
And those are the plays you need to have happen. You need, in order for these comebacks to take place, you sometimes need a little luck on. And with that bad pass, that's exactly what the Lions need, or the Knights needed, excuse me.
Knights definitely need a little bit of a break in the action here. Now Dawn Mead dribbles the ball in, but is tripped up by number 0, Amari Price, on that play.
And that gives Price 4 fouls on the night so far. So now she's in foul trouble.
Dawn Mead goes to the line. Her first goes off the back iron. No good for Dawn Mead.
And again, we have a substitution here for the Lions as Brittany Walker comes in, the junior from Savannah, Georgia.
Dawn Mead herself, a freshman from St. George. There's a foul call down in the paint. A travel call here.
And again, we talked about free throws early on in the broadcast, how they're the smallest things that add up really quickly. And in the first half, the Knights not having a ton of free throw. Well, they had 12 free throw attempts and they made 6 of them, 50%. And that's 6 points they could have had. And if they had the 6 points, they'd be down 68-58. They'd only be down by 10 with 3.5 minutes left.
Got to be better if you're the Knights team. Have to be more consistent on that foul line. Those are points you cannot pass up. Let's now see number 10 for the Knights, Nicole Muse, making her way to the foul line.
And then you see on your screen number 24, Rachel Irby, coming in.
Muse's first shot is good. Chalk one up for the Knights.
Muse makes the second one. So it makes it a 14-point game again.
The Lions have the ball now.
Oh man, now that I think about the free throws, now I imagine they've missed about 8 or 9.
Another block by Katie Garish, but a travel call called before the block was administered. Katie Garish, the leading scorer for this Knights team so far. She's got 16 on the night, overtaking Alexis Barnes' 12.
Yeah, Garish has been the person they've turned to. That's the person that's scoring instead of Alexis Barnes. And that's nice to see that now they can start to see later in the season who they could turn to. If a certain type of offense works for its outside shooting with Alexis Barnes, great, you have Alexis Barnes. If you need post play, you got Garish.
The referee just having a little bit of a discussion here in the middle of the floor. Not exactly sure what for, but the Knights will inbound the ball. So Sophie Wright handling the ball for the Knights. Muse with a three. No good. Rebounded by Amari Price.
Yeah, Muse has struggled from the three-point line. Shooting a couple here tonight, not making any of them so far.
Three taken by the Lions. It's no good as well. Rebounded, blocked by Garish.
Garish really making her presence known on this defense.
Shot by Wood, and it's good. The tray is good for the Knights.
Now it's a 9-point game, 2.5 minutes left. Things are getting interesting.
Run to the paint by Price, and it'll fall. Now Dawn Mead has the ball here for the Knights. Back to Wood. She's got a hot hand, but that's no good. Rebounded by the Knights. That's Wood following on rebound. She goes in for the shot, and she is fouled.
So she'll get 2 free throws. And excuse me, I misspoke earlier. It wasn't a 9-point game. It was an 11-point game. But now with that last basket by the Lions, making a 13-point game with just 2 minutes left.
That foul call was on number 15, Kelly Ackerman. And that's 5 on her in this game. And for her, number 30, Abby Craven.
I feel like you're going to see excuse me, Chris, sorry about that. I feel like you're going to see several more free throws before the end of this game happens, and the Knights have to capitalize on every single one of them.
Speaking of capitalization, Wood there. First free throw going down here for the Knights.
Again, we talked about how those free throws are like golden eggs that you have to cherish and you have to protect, you have to use them. I mean, you know, it's like, anyway, those things are so important. You have to make sure they're treated as such.
Fast break opportunity here for the Lions. This is Amari Price. And that'll go down here for the Lions. Coach Woodenberg pushing his girls along. Tech call against head coach of the Lions.
As Jamie Purdy, head coach for the Lions. She's in her 14th season as coach here for Piedmont College.
Amanda Wood at the line here for the Knights.
And that layup that Amari Price just had puts her at 27 points for this game.
Wonderful play by Amari Price. She's just been unstoppable today. We see Amanda Wood sinking both free throws here for the Knights. Needed points. It's a 12-point game.
It's those situations where if you're in a game that you
Quick
can really
shot
come
in by
within reach
Wood.
in just a couple plays.
That's a three-pointer by Wood, and one. It's a 4-point play opportunity here for the Knights.
And I think that is Price's 5th foul.
It appears to be it. Amari Price, her 5th foul of the night. She is gone, finished, done. No more for her tonight. She ends with 27 points and sends the Knights to the line.
Now being down by 9 points with over a minute and a half left, and you don't have to deal with Amari Price anymore, you couldn't have asked for a better scenario for the Knights right now.
A bit of miscommunication here on the court between Coach Adam Woodenberg and the referee. Coach Adam Woodenberg looking for a timeout. No timeout given by the referee. But that is it. Amari Price is done for tonight. And in her stead comes in number 13, Carla Cantrell. On the line for the Knights, Nicole Muse. Muse's first one is good. Make it an 8-point game for the Knights.
What's interesting to me is Jatasia Bailey and Kelly Ackerman, the two other players that have been high scorers for the Lions so far, aren't in the game.
Dawn Mead applying the pressure to number 10, Sarah Beth Hansard. Hansard passes to number 24, Rachel Irby. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Travel call here against the Lions. That's number 34, Brittany Walker, taking too many steps. It'll be Knights ball.
And you just feel the energy coming from the Knights bench right now. Roll it in order to save clock time. And you feel it in the stands too. The fans are getting more into it. It is 7-point game. And I don't know what that was going to do.
Not exactly sure what Dawn Mead was thinking on that play. She had open passes. She walks back, just telling her teammate Katie Garish, hey, that one's my bad. Wasn't thinking too much on that one. This ball belonged to the Lions.
Yeah, there was 3 defenders there in the paint, obviously trying to cover Katie Garish. Again, just trying to rush things, trying to put things where they don't belong.
This is a foul call against the Knights. This will send Brittany Walker to the line for the Lions. Don't know if you can hear it at home, but the noise here in the barn is absolutely electric. The fans are into it. They're rooting for this Knights team.
And it throws off the first free throw.
Walker misses both of them. It's rebounded by the Knights.
That home crowd obviously getting in Walker's head.
Pass it to Muse. Muse with a 3. No good. Rebounded by the Lions. This is Walker. Knights trying to regain possession here. Coach Adam Wardenberg yelling for his team to foul. Trying to put the Lions on the line here. Just pray for some misses.
And we talked about early on how the Lions were doing such a good job at the free throw line. But now really being put to the test here with under a minute left. Up by 7. They have to make these free throws in order to silence the Knights. So far, haven't been able to do that. But again, that free throw goes in.
First free throw goes in for Cantrell. Now an 8-point game for the Knights. If you can hear the 6th man of this Knights team, the fans here at SVU, just howling in the stands.
And then now a timeout by Coach.
30-second timeout taken by Coach Adam Wardenberg. Just trying to get his girls further up on the court. It's crunch time now. 46 seconds left to go. It is an 8-point game.
Now in this situation, you have to play fast. You don't have the luxury of being down by 4 or 3 to where you can take your time to set up a play. You're down by 8. You need the best case scenario, you get 3 3-pointers. But with how it's been off and on for the Knights, that's not extremely reliable. So you need 4 possessions in 46 seconds. So what you need is quick plays to Garish, pass paint, or quick shots on the outside. And then you need a foul. You need a foul quick as soon as the ball gets in.
This is what you practice for. This time, this moment. All the 2-minute drills you do in football, they belong in basketball too. We'll see if the efficiency of this Knights team can be shown and be evident here in the final 46 seconds as Nicole Muse of the Knights looks to inbound this ball.
The screens for these out-of-bounds plays need to be perfect. They need to be great so that teams can get
quick pass into
Garish. Like that.
Garish trying to get it, and Garish will bounce it off the legs of number 34, Brittany Walker. Garish just lost her footing there, doing the smart thing and keeping possession for the Knights.
The Lions doing a great job at making sure that passes aren't open for the Knights.
Quick shot in by Wright. No good. Rebounded here by the Lions, and foul call against the Knights. Foul call against number 20, Amanda Wood. It'll send number 13, Cantrell, to the line for the Lions yet again.
And if you missed it early on in the fourth quarter, Cantrell's the one, or I guess a couple minutes ago, Cantrell's the one that came in for Amari Price, who at the time of her leaving the game had 27 points in this game. So she's stepping in, making free throws.
Cantrell showing her prowess at the free throw line. She'll miss the second when it's rebounded by Garrish. Now Dawn Mead hustling her team up the floor here.
They need 3 3-pointers.
Wood goes up to try to get the shot. She's fouled on her way to the basket. The block call, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And like talk about how this is what you practice for. It's especially free throws like this. You count that, or you say to yourself in your head, it's under a minute left. Championship game, or at least that's usually the scenario that goes through your head. I have to make these free throws in order to give my team a chance.
Absolutely, and saw Amanda Wood draining the first one there. See what she does with the second. Likewise. Timeout taken by the Lions.
And again, Coach Jamie Purdy for the Lions has done a great job at limiting some momentum plays for the Knights as they have tried to come in like earlier on in this run. They try to get in the paint to Katie Garrish, the Knights anyway. But of course, they had 3 defenders down there. Coach Purdy knowing that's what the Knights would go for because Garrish has just been unstoppable in the second half.
She absolutely has on both sides of the floor. Defensive powerhouse back there, and if they can find a way to get her the ball down in the paint, she'll put 2 on the board for the Knights.
And the Knights just broke their huddle by screaming the word champions. That's the word that most players use to describe this team was champions. Play like a champion, fight like a champion, and you play like a champion by being victorious or playing your best in moments like this.
Lions able to inbound the ball. There'll be a foul call against number 13, Dawn Mead. It'll send number 24, Rachel Irby, to the line for the Lions.
You hear the fans starting to get involved yet again in these free throws.
Irby drains the first one. But to keep it at an 8-point game here for the Knights. Irby's second hits the front iron, but it's rebounded by the Lions. Put up by number 34, Brittany Walker, and she is fouled by Katie Garrish. It'll put the Lions on the line yet again.
So now being an 8-point game with 22 seconds left. Basically at this point, you need quick 3-pointers. That's basically what's going to get you this game. And you need people out there who can make those outside shots. Hughes has done that. Barnes has done that, but she's fouled out. They have other people that can make quick shots, like Corey Stout can make some 3-pointers.
Interesting move here by Coach Adam Wardenberg, taking out Amanda Wood and Sophie Wright, 2 of the better 3-point shooters we've seen today. Maybe there's a method, some rebounding in.
That's exactly what he's going for. He wanted that rebounding power to make sure they get the ball on missed free throws.
And there on that play, we saw 3 prospective centers in for the Knights, just trying to get that rebound. And right there, Sophie Wright and Amanda Wood checking immediately back into this game. Coach Adam Wardenberg knows they need shooting, and those are 2 of the best ones here on this Knights team.
And if you're in the huddle with Coach Wardenberg, you're saying to your team the same things we've been preaching. Saying we need quick shots. We're going to set this play, get the shot open real fast. We don't have time to diddle-daddle. We don't have time to let plays develop. We don't have time for that. That was earlier on in the game as we had time for that. Now we need quick shots. We need players in there that can make those clutch 3-pointers, and we need it fast.
Absolutely. The Knights need to take full advantage of the time they have left. Only 20.8 seconds left. They need quick shots. Like you said, Dawson, they need to find the quickest way to put points on the board as possible, and they need to make everything they shoot.
And so we'll see what Coach Wardenberg draws up here as they'll come onto the floor. And again, I feel like Coach Wardenberg just brings a sense of anticipation and as well as expectation for this team. You play like a champion, you play your hearts out, you play smart basketball, And if you find yourself in the hole, you keep clawing and clawing and clawing until you see the opening of that tunnel.
Nicole Muse inbounding the ball here for the Knights. Passes into Dawn Mead. Mead looks out to the corner. Finds Wright with a three. It's good. That's 3 points for the Knights. It's a 5-point game. Beautiful work there by the Knights.
That's exactly what they needed. It's a single-digit game, 5-point game, 6 seconds. Again, you have to foul immediately, and you have to have your rebounders in there. You have to have people to get you the ball, and you need to call a timeout. So the Knights only have 1 timeout left. And so Coach Warrenberg, in his experience, knows how to use that. He knows when and where he'll need it if his team is to make another shot.
I explained with the Knights, they know as soon as the Lions inbound the ball, if they have a chance to, they need to foul right away. But they want to limit the opportunity for number 13, Carla Cantrell, to get the ball. She's just been stellar from the line. They need to get someone like a Brittany Walker or someone up there that hasn't shown tonight that they have put in the practice necessary to sink these clutch free throws. Knights, this is crunch time for them right now. They need to defend extremely well. And right now in the hands of Katie Garish, guarding the inbounder.
Yeah, Katie Garish able to disrupt that passing lane and gets her hand on it.
She gets her hand on it. Knights have the ball. It'll fall for the Knights. That'll make it a 3-point game. Great foul there by the Knights. Beautiful work there by Katie Garish on the inbound play to get her hands on that ball. They'll send number 24, Rachel Irby, to the line. She's done good, but has streaky moments. We'll see what she does here.
You can't draw that up any better. Katie Garish hitting her hand on that, stealing the ball. Fast break layup. Oh my gosh. Talk about a tight one, nail biter here.
Irby's first shot, no good, off the front of the iron.
Now at this point, of course, with this, you need a 3-pointer here. You're playing for overtime. But the fact that they're in this situation, the fact that they're in this position, is because of their coach. In that, with 7 seconds left, makes it difficult to reach it as Coach spends his last timeout.
Timeout taken by Coach Adam Wardenberg. His team down 4 in this game. They've done a great job getting it back in. We just saw there Amanda Wood running to coach saying, hey, put me in. I have the confidence to do this. Great showing by this Knights team. I love the willpower they've shown. We'll see if they can pull it out. They're down 4 points with 7.3 seconds left to go. It won't be easy, but it is doable. Under the chants of SVU around the Knight Arena right now. The fans are behind this team. See how much the team feeds off that.
It just shows how Coach Warrenberg has been able to rally his players in a game where they're down by 18 at one point. This is an 18-point game in the third quarter. We can't stress that enough, how much of a comeback this is right now.
Hughes inbound the ball. She finds Garish, but Garish not able to get a hand on it. Can't catch the ball. It'll go out of bounds. It'll belong to the Lions. Not what the Knights needed.
And so as we get the pass off, it looks like he goes for the layup. Could have easily just ran out the clock by dribbling around, but instead goes up for the fast break layup.
And the first shot goes in. That's number 30, Abby Craven. And Dawson, you have to be feeling right now for Katie Garish. Had such a great game, had the opportunity to get her team down by 2 and just couldn't catch the ball. I tell you, I'd hate to be her right now. She has to be the sickest person at SVU.
And I mean, I think, absolutely, if I'm in that situation, it breaks your heart when you have a game like that at the end of the game, that something like that happens. But definitely we cannot take away what she was able to do in that third and fourth quarter in order to put her team in this situation to only lose by 6. Again, in a game where they were down by 18, where Amari Price was dominating, where they were getting fast break layups, so they were making threes left and right. to come back and at one point be within 3 points, that speaks wonders to what this team can do. I guess a team, again, that made the Division III tournament last year and was very successful. They ended up with a 23-6 record last year. The Knights were 12-13. The Knights really struggled last year, but to show against a team like this so well, it was just extremely impressive.
It really is impressive. Like you said before, they were down 18, almost 20 points. To be able to come back the way they did was just phenomenal. But the end of it all, the Lions of Piedmont College remain unbeaten, and the Knights fall to 1-1. Well, their schedule's not done yet. Obviously, just the beginning of the season. They've got their next game really close. Tomorrow, actually, they play at home against Bryn Mawr, and we hope to see you then too. But Knights is not able to finish it here in this one. Had the opportunity to, but the Lions just proved too much with this Knights team today.
Yeah, it really did. And again, just a big thank you to everyone for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. It's been a blast. The end of this game, of course, being as tight as it was a fun one to commentate for sure.
Absolutely, that was a very exciting game. We're appreciative of all that joined us here on the live broadcast of the Knights Sports Network. The final score stands Piedmont College 78, Southern Virginia Knights 72. We hope to see you next time on the next broadcast. See you tomorrow as coverage continues of women's basketball. We again thank you so much for being here tonight. And remember, it's a great day to be a Knight.